Champions League returns again. Yes guys, welcome back to another video on the channel, and today welcome to game week 3 of the Champions League predictions. It's been quite a couple of weeks since the Champions League, but the Champions League is back tomorrow and Wednesday. We got some good games to look forward to, so let's get into my predictions. And of course the first game comes from the Rams Global Stadium in Istanbul, as it is Galatasaray versus Bayern Munich. Now I think this will be a really good game in my opinion. Galatasaray, they haven't lost a game since the 30th of April. That was a 3-1 away defeat against Besiktas. Ever since then, Galatasaray haven't lost a game, and no, we're not including pre-season games. But, you know, Galatasaray, I watched their game against Manchester United, and I thought they played quite decent. You know, I thought United played all right in the first half. They had Rashford created a couple of chances. We'll speak about United in a minute. But overall, Galatasaray were quite decent, and their goals were quite good as well. But this will be a tough game for Galatasaray. Bayern Munich, of course, their last defeat was in the German Super Cup against Leipzig. Ever since then, they haven't lost. But, you know, Bayern, they did scrape a win against Copenhagen. I think Copenhagen took the lead as well, but Bayern, of course, came back to win. But Bayern, you know, did well to bounce back quite comfortably. You know, 3-0 win against Freiburg, and on Saturday, a 3-1 win against Mainz. Harry Kane, of course, scoring in that game, and so did Kingsley Coman and Leon Goretzka. You know, I think this will not be an easy game for Bayern. Galatasaray, you know, they're a good side. I think they're quite decent at home. They got good fans as well. I'm going to go with a lot of goals here. I'm going to go 4-2 to Bayern Munich. I think Bayern will win, but Galatasaray will give them a good game. So yeah, 4-2 Bayern. And of course the next game is Manchester United versus Copenhagen at Old Trafford. Now Man United, 2-1 win against Sheffield United. And of course before I speak about this game, of course thoughts and prayers go out to Sir Bobby Charlton, who sadly passed away on he passed away Saturday morning, the early hours of Saturday morning, but it was announced by his family at about 4 o'clock. So, of course, thoughts and prayers go out to Sir Bobby Charlton's family, friends, and of course everybody at Manchester United. And, you know, of course, United, they won on Saturday 2-1 against Sheffield United. I watched a bit of the game, but you know, but to be fair, I only watched probably the first 5 minutes of the game, and then I turned it off. But apparently Harry Maguire had a really good game. I thought apparently he was really good. And Diogo Dalot, what a goal as well. But this is going to be quite an emotional night for Man United. It's their first game at Old Trafford since the passing of Sir Bobby Charlton, and I'm sure they want to win in their first Champions League game without him. But well, to be fair, I think United will win. Copenhagen, they're not the greatest side in the world. You know, they're not doing great either at the moment. You know, they're not doing great in the league either. You know, to be fair, they only have lost I think one game in their last 6. That was a loss against FC Midtjylland. But yeah, I'm gonna go 3-0 Man United. And of course, the next game comes from France. It is Lens against PSV Eindhoven. Now, Lens, incredible turnaround for them. I think they were sitting like bottom of League 1. They are now 15th. Well, so they have improved a bit. They're doing well. They're unbeaten in their last 6. PSV doing well as well. They haven't lost since that Champions League 4-0 defeat at Arsenal. But this could go either way. PSV and Lens are doing well at the moment. I'm gonna sit on the fence and go with a 2-2 draw. And of course, the next game comes from Spain. It is Sevilla versus Arsenal. Now, of course, Sevilla coming into this game with a 1-1 draw against Real Madrid. Quite a decent result there for Seville. Arsenal with a 2-2 draw against Chelsea. I watched the game and I thought Arsenal played really poor against Chelsea. I thought Chelsea were the better team, but Arsenal did really well to come back from 2-0 down. Just silly mistake from Robert Sanchez. And then, you know, the second goal. Well, to be fair, the first goal was good. Well, the first goal was just a stupid mistake from Sanchez, and that was easily tucked home by Rice. And then the second goal was good play from Arsenal. But overall, it was a shambolic performance from Arsenal, and they've got to bounce back with a win here. But, you know, Sevilla is quite a tough place to go. Man United went there last season and lost. So Sevilla could win this game here, but Arsenal, you know, they haven't really been playing well recently. They need a good performance, and I think it will come to I think they might play alright, but I think Sevilla, like I said with Bayern Munich, I think Galatasaray will give them a good game, and I think Sevilla will give Arsenal a good game. I think Arsenal will sneak a win though. I'm going to go 3-2 to Arsenal. And of course, the next game is Braga versus Real Madrid at the Estadio Municipal de Braga. Of course, it's another Portugal-Spain meeting. And normally, to be fair, when a Portuguese side plays a Spanish team in the Champions League, it's actually quite a good game. But, Braga, they're doing really well at the moment. They're unbeaten in their last 5 games. That does include a 3-2 win at Union Berlin. That does include a win at Union Berlin. Real Madrid, 1-1 draw against Sevilla. Last time out, 3-1 win against Napoli. I didn't watch it, but apparently Jude Bellingham scored a really good goal in that game, and so did Marco Asensio as well. But this is a big game for Real Madrid. They probably need to win this game because they got El Clasico on Saturday, which I'm sure they'll want to win that game because I'm sure they hate Barcelona and Barcelona hate Real Madrid. But yeah, and by the way, of course, we'll be speaking about Barcelona later in the video. But for me, I think Real Madrid will comfortably win this one. Jude Bellingham will score. I'm going to go 4-0 Madrid. And of course, the next game is Union Berlin against Napoli at the Olympic Stadion. Of course, Union playing their Champions League games this year at Hertha Berlin's ground. Of course, their Union's ground is too small for Champions League games, but it's a tough time at Union at the moment. They haven't won a single. Union, they started well. They won their first 2 games, but ever since then, it's gone completely downhill. Sorry about that. But anyway, like I was saying, it has gone downhill, to be fair, for Union. They haven't won in ages. Napoli, they're doing really, really well at the moment. I did watch their game quite recently against Fiorentina, which they actually lost, by the way. And fair play to Fiorentina, they did quite well, but I think Napoli are going to batter Union Berlin. I'm going to go 5-0 Napoli. And now we're going to speak about another Italian team. We're going to speak about Inter Milan as they take on RB Salzburg. And Inter, they are cooking at the moment. I know they did lose quite recently to Sassuolo, but Inter Milan are cooking at the moment. They're doing really, really well. And one player who is cooking in that Internazionale team is the Argentinian striker Lautaro Martinez. What a player he is. And, well, to be fair, they have got a couple of big games coming up. Inter, because they got the game tomorrow, they got 2 big Serie A games against Roma and Atalanta, because they got the reverse fixture with Salzburg in Austria. Inter coming to this game, 3-0 win on the weekend against Turin, a good result for them. Salzburg losing 1-0 to Lask, which isn't a result they really wanted, to be fair. But I don't think Inter have never lost against Austrian opposition, and I think Inter are going to continue their streak, and they're going to win 4-0. And of course, the next game and the final game on Tuesday is Benfica versus Real Sociedad at the Estadio de Luz. Now, Benfica, they need to win this game. They haven't picked up a point yet. They're 4 points off the round of 16 place, so they really need a win here. But it's going to be tough because Sociedad, 4 points at the moment. Sociedad did beat Salzburg 2-0 last time out, and of course they drew 1-1 in their UCL opener with Inter. This is, Sociedad doing quite well at the moment. I think they've only lost 1 game in their last 6. That was a defeat to Atletico Madrid. But, Benfica at home, they can be quite good. I know Benfica did lose at home to Salzburg, but this is a game Benfica have got to win. I don't think they'll win, unfortunately. I think they'll draw. I'm going to go 2-2. And of course, now we move on to Wednesday's games. And the first game is Feyenoord versus Lazio at the Stadion Final. Now, I think I actually watched Feyenoord and Lazio when they played each other last year in the Europa League. And to be fair, Feyenoord and Lazio, they seem to play each other quite a lot, to be fair. The two teams, Lazio Lazio unbeaten in their last 3. That does include a Champions League win at Celtic. They beat Atalanta 3-2 and beat Sassuolo 2-0 on Saturday. Feyenoord come into this game with a 4-0 win against Vitesse on Saturday. But I did watch a bit of Feyenoord's last game with Atletico Madrid. The game was quite the game was quite boring, to be fair. Lazio, won it late again. They won it late against Atletico Madrid. They won it late. Sorry, they scored late against Atletico Madrid. They won it late against Celtic. What will happen on Wednesday in Rotterdam against Feyenoord. You know, Feyenoord, they are the Dutch champions. They are good at home, Feyenoord. And that's why I'm going to back them to win this game. Lazio, I think they're ninth at the moment in Serie A, which isn't really where they want to be. But I think Feyenoord will win this one. I'm going to go 3-1 to the Dutch. And of course, the next game is at Celtic Park. It's Celtic against Atletico Madrid. Now, Atletico, you know, they're doing well at the moment. They haven't lost the game since the 16th of September. That was a 3-0 defeat away at Valencia. And Atletico Madrid have actually won their last 6. They've won all of their last 6 games. You know, that does include a couple of good wins against Real Madrid, Feyenoord, and Real Sociedad. So it might be a long evening for Celtic on Wednesday, but Celtic, you know, to be fair, you know, their recent defeats were in the Champions League against Feyenoord and Lazio, but in the league they're doing quite well. But they battered Hearts yesterday, 4-1. Of course, goal scorers there were O'Reilly, Maida, Kyogo, and Iwata. But you know, Atletico, I think they'll win this one. I think they're too strong for Celtic, so I'm going to go 3-1 to Atletico Madrid. And of course, the next game is Newcastle versus Dortmund at St James's Park. Now, I did watch Newcastle's last game in the Champions League, and also I watched the game against PSG, and I watched their game on the weekend with Palace. In both games, Newcastle were absolutely brilliant. PSG and Crystal Palace were really poor, to be honest. And you know, I just wasn't expecting Newcastle to win 4-1 against PSG. But in that game, Newcastle were brilliant. The atmosphere was incredible. And the game on Saturday, Newcastle were brilliant. Palace were just all over the place. Dortmund are doing quite well at the moment. Haven't lost since their Champions League defeats against PSG. Last time out in the Champions League for Dortmund, 0-0 draw against Milan. Apparently the game wasn't really that good, but Dortmund come into this game with a narrow 1-0 win against Werder Bremen, which it's alright, I guess, but I don't know. Any Dortmund fans watching this, let me know how you lot got on. You know, it's going to be a tough game for Dortmund, and of course, fair play to all the Dortmund fans who are making the journey to Newcastle for this Champions League fixture. But I am going to go with the Newcastle win. I don't think it'll be. I don't think they'll batter Dortmund. I think Dortmund are doing quite well at the moment. Well, Dortmund are currently 4th in the Bundesliga, 20 points. They're 2 points behind Bayer Leverkusen, who are top of the league. But, you know, I'm going to go with home advantage. It's going to be a high-scoring game. I'm going to go 3-2 to Newcastle. And, of course, the next game is Paris Saint-Germain against AC Milan. Now, I did watch AC Milan last night against Juve. Really hurts my fractured thumb. And Milan, I thought they were really, really poor. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say they were poor. I think they were all right, but I think they could have been a bit better. To be fair, you know, they didn't. Well, Leao was poor. It just wasn't the best performance from Milan, you know. And they got tough games coming. Of course, they got that because they played Juve last night. They got this game, and then they got Napoli on Sunday. But PSG 3-0 win against Strasbourg. Well, PSG have done quite well since their 4-1 defeat against Newcastle. They beat Rennes 3-1. And then Strasbourg 3-0, so 6 goals in 2 games, conceding 1. For me, I think it's going to be a tough night for Milan. I'm going to go with a home win, 3-0 to Paris Saint-Germain. And of course, the next game is RB Leipzig against Red Star Belgrade at the Red Bull Arena. Now, Leipzig did lose 3-1 against Man City, but they didn't actually play that bad in their last game. But Leipzig, again, they've only lost 1 game in their last. Sorry, that's my dad again. Anyway, Leipzig have only lost 1 game in their last 6. Of course, that was the defeat against Man City. But Leipzig come into this game 3-1 win against SV Darmstadt, considering their last 2 Bundesliga games were draws against Bayern and Bochum. But you know, Leipzig will win. I know. Well, to be fair, Red Star they're unbeaten in their last 4, but Leipzig are going to win. I'm going to go 4-0 to the Germans. Got my thumb. Anyway, the next game is Young Boys against the Champions League holders Manchester City at Cody Hewitt's favourite stadium, the Stadion Wankdorf. I'm joking, Cody, if you're watching. But yeah, Man City 2-1 win against Brighton. Good win for them considering they have been struggling quite recently. And of course, I did watch I didn't watch the game against Brighton, but I did watch their game against Arsenal. I thought, to be fair, City weren't really that good. Nor were Arsenal, to be fair. The game was a bit crap. But City have got to win this game, and the young boys not really any good, are they? But they are unbeaten in their lap. Well, to be fair, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 defeat in their last 6. So young boys doing quite well. Young boys haven't lost a home game, or their last home defeat was against Leipzig. Ever since then, they got the last home games: 4-1 win against Lugano, and a 3-0 win against Basel, 0-0 against FC Zurich. So yeah, but you know, they got young boys got a couple of tough games coming up. But yeah, prediction: I'm gonna go with a 3-0 win for Man City. I think they'll win this game. You know, young boys aren't the best team, but yeah, maybe young boys might score, but I don't think they will. I'm gonna go 3-0, and hopefully Haaland will score. And of course, the second to last game is Barcelona versus Shakhtar Donetsk. Barcelona played last night. I didn't watch it, but Ollie did. Apparently, Bilbao were the better team, to be fair. But to be fair, what a moment it was for Mark Gui, who came on. He literally came on in the 79th minute and scored in the 80th minute. So he literally came on and scored. What a moment for him. I think his family were there, and his family were going crazy. But to be fair, we're looking at the stats. It does say 62% possession for Barcelona and 38% for Bilbao. But listen to what Ollie had said. But apparently Bilbao were the better side. But Barca, you know, this will be a walk in the park. You know, no disrespect to Shakhtar. I mean, they do struggle in these big Champions League games, but they did beat Antwerp 3-2 last time out, and they, of course, did beat Kirkasi 3-0 in their last game on the weekend. But Barca are going to win 4-0. And, of course, the next... Guess what? It was my dad again! Anyway, the final game is Royal Antwerp versus Porto. Royal Antwerp, heartbreak for them. And to be fair, I swear I saw about it, but I think they got a penalty. I think Antwerp got a penalty in the last minute, and the ex-Tottenham centre-back, Toby Alderweireld, take it, and he missed. I mean, bro, that was 98th minute as well. Absolute heartbreak for Antwerp to secure their first ever Champions League points. But Porto, to be fair, they could get something out of this game, but Porto doing quite well at the moment, you know. To be fair, considering they lost 2 games against Benfica and Barcelona, they're doing quite well. They beat Portimonense 1-0, and they won in the Portugal Cup against Vila de Pedreses. Do apologise if I pronounced wrong. But, you know, I'm going to go 2-1 Porto. The game's probably going to be a bit crap and boring, but yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 Porto. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.